Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us tonight at the August 11, 2026 Finance Meeting. Call this meeting to order. At this time, I will yield the floor to Chairman Keller.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Item 1 on our agenda this evening is consideration of a resolution to accept the bid for an FAA grant to reconstruct the airport apron at the Arkansas Municipal Airport, to authorize the mayor and the city clerk treasurer to enter into a contract with Blackstone Construction for said project. I'm moving forward item 1 to the full council with a recommendation of approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion on item 1?
We've been planning this for a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little confused on that. So this, I guess before it was just all the grant stuff, and now we're actually accepting the bid on it.
Yeah, so prior to, we made the appropriation for the project. Now we're accepting the bid.
Okay.
And this is phase 2 of the project.
Is there any further discussion on item 1? Thank you, Mr. Carb. All those in favor of forwarding item 1 to the full council with a recommendation of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Item 1 is forwarded. Item 2 is an appropriation from the Parks and Rec 1 cent sales tax fund 08 in the sum of $85,288.63 to fund the replacement of the Illinois Bayou Park boat docks. I'm moving forward item 2 to the full council with a recommendation of approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion on item 2? Hearing none, all those in favor of forwarding item 2 to the full council with a recommendation of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Item 2 is forwarded. Items 3 and 3A. Item 3 is consideration of a resolution for the mayor and the city clerk treasurer to execute a contract with Western Millwright Services Incorporated for the renovations that will include removing the existing bathrooms, removing the old storage building, and building new ADA bathrooms, adding a score booth to the upper field, and installing wastewater treatment plant. And item 3A is an appropriation from the Parks and Rec. I'm sorry, item 3 was for the Shiloh Park restroom wastewater and renovations. Item 3A is an appropriation from the Parks and Rec 1 cent sales tax fund 08 in the sum of $652,000 to fund that construction. I'm moving forward items 3 and 3A of the full council with a recommendation of approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion on items 3 and 3A?
How did we end up deciding that a wastewater treatment versus,
We're not able to put a septic tank in there.
can't reach it.
We tried, we're not able to. The health department would not approve it. We were hoping to just redo the old septic system, but we're not allowed to with the Arkansas Department of Health.
do we have a plan on, we have to have someone who's certified to be able to?
Yes, yeah, we've already gone out to bid and everything, so that's you're appropriating, that's gone out to bid. Western Millwright's got that, and everything is, that's a turnkey price right there.
Well, I meant for the operation of it, like the continued.
Oh, so, I see what you're saying, Mr. Pearson, thank you. So, I apologize.
Yeah, the operation of the sewer treatment plant will be done. We've got a 3-year contract with a company that they monitor it remotely. And they come in quarterly and inspect it and that type of stuff. The only thing we'll have to do is pump the hard waste out of it.
Okay, so we're not having to get somebody certified and do all that. We're just contracting it
No,
out. Okay.
we'll just hire that out, yep.
This says, on our form here, it says score booth. Is it meant to say scoreboard, or is it an actual physical
It'll
booth?
be just like the ones at Hickey.
Yeah.
Yep, it'll be a score booth.
What's the
The
plan?
upper field does not have one.
Is there any plan for lighting out there? More lighting?
Yes,
It's not
that's
here,
all
but
included
is
in
it
that.
Okay.
Yep,
yeah.
all around that area will be lit, and then it includes running new electric up to the tennis courts and the pavilion. And then in the next step, when we get ready to do the next step of the renovation, there'll be some more lighting in it around the playground and stuff like that.
It needs it. I'm happy about this
Yeah.
project.
Is there any further discussion on items 3 and 3A? Thank you, sir. Hearing none, all those in favor of forwarding items 3 and 3A to the full council with a recommendation of approval, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Item 3 and 3A is forwarded. Item 4 is an appropriation from the Economic Development Capital Fund number 27 in the sum of $10,812.98 to purchase fence screening at Public Works. I move we forward item 4 to the full council with a recommendation of approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion on item 4?
Yeah, why are we doing this?
You've got a new retail development right behind Public Works, and we're just trying to make that not look, you're looking, you go to shopping at Academy, and you're looking right in the back of our yard as far as Public Works. You got all the tractor and equipment and stuff. It's just kind of clean that up and make that look a little bit better because it's a retail area now.
So it's the view from that
Yes,
parking
yeah,
lot?
yeah.
Okay, because I know driving down Parkway, you really don't see it.
Yeah, you don't see it a lot, but like I say, but you do see it from retail.
We've also, Mr. Olson's asked for that more than once. We also asked that of certain businesses in our code
Yeah.
enforcement, in our zoning and code, so it's only kind of fair that we do the same.
Is there any further discussion on item 4? Hearing none, all those in favor of forwarding item 4 to the full council with a recommendation of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Item 4 is forwarded. Item 5 is consideration of a resolution for the mayor and the city clerk treasurer to enter into professional engineering services for miscellaneous drainage improvements and the South Galveston Court and Prairie Creek tributary. Move we forward item 5 to the full council with a recommendation of approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion on item 5?
Can we hear a little about that?
This is in addition to the bridge work that's going on right now. This is not connected to that at all.
No, it's not.
Further
This
down.
is over
Yeah.
behind
Not
Humphrey Funeral Home.
connected at all.
Yeah,
So-
just for clarification.
So, the South Galveston Court, it's over in another section of town, and if y'all remember, a couple years back, we had to build a bridge, then had to close the road because the bridge had caved in. Well, there's another one there, and it's a dead-end street, so that's their only way in and out, so, and it's in bad condition, so we're gonna have to reconstruct that. And also the other one we're talking about at the Prairie Creek, it's where Luxury Pool and Spa used to be, right there.
How are we going to get them in and out of their houses when we're in the middle of construction there?
We're going to meet with the funeral home person.
see if we can
and
get
see if we
access.
can take a section of his fence out and let them go in and out that
Okay,
way.
all right, thank you. I was just wondering, I know that location, just making sure that we could get in and out.
It's a tough one.
In that downtown section, the luxury pool area, I know several years ago, there were some major drainage issues there that impeded a lot of work. Is that going to be part of the same,
Yeah, we're replacing the whole thing
Okay.
there, the new box.
Yeah.
It's all gonna be new, it should be good.
which will that affect these properties over here as well? Because
That
it
might be
was,
an
it was all
engineer question.
connected, right?
That's
I'm
on,
on-
that'll be
yeah.
on the north side of our Main Street, will it not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rather
Yeah.
let Glenn answer that question.
Yeah, we're going to be making sure that channel opens and flows up because they had some blockages from so this is just going to open that area up. I'm not sure what other areas it's going to benefit from that, but we're going to make sure we don't have any obstructions for any more collapses from that area.
Cool. And this is not related to that, but the current bridge there on Parkway, when they started that project, they had mentioned that it would be done before school started. And I'm assuming that's not going to be the case, but do we have somewhat of a timeline?
We have the Corps of Engineers here tonight. They're going to
Sweet.
speak here shortly.
Awesome.
He's here to
Cool.
speak on that in just a
Yeah,
few
yeah.
minutes.
Hey, I will say it looks darn close.
Oh, yeah, no, no problems with it. And I assumed from the get-go that it probably wouldn't be done by then, but that's just the way these things go. So.
Yep, it is. It's gonna be nice when it's done.
Is there any further discussion on item 5? Thank you, Mr. Duval. All those in favor of forwarding item 5 to the full council with a recommendation of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Item 5 is forwarded. Item 6 is a consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor and the city clerk treasurer to accept and award the lowest responsible bid to the sign a western, and to sign, I'm assuming, a contract with Western Millwright for the 2026 sidewalk maintenance on Fairway Boulevard, Spokane Circle, and East J Street / Highway 7, and for other purposes. I move we forward item 6 to the full council with a recommendation of approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion on item 6?
Is there anything specific with that, or is that just general maintenance?
It's our
and
yearly,
plans?
one of our yearly sidewalk
Okay, all right.
maintenance.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Is there any further discussion on item 6? Hearing none, all those in favor of forwarding item 6 to the full council with a recommendation of approval, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Item 6 is forwarded. Item 7 is a resolution authorizing the mayor and the city clerk treasurer, finance director, parks and recreation director, and grants administrator to sign a grant application and associated paperwork with the Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism for an outdoor recreation matching grant to be used for the renovation of the Shiloh Park and to add more recreational amenities to that park. I move forward item 7 to the full council with a recommendation of approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion on item 7?
Is this a 50/50 grant? Or?
It is a 50/50 grant.
And what does this, if
Well-
we get this, would it cover all the things that were listed, or is there a possibility that we'd have to choose some of
It's
it?
a possibility that it's just how much Terry's going to be able to appropriate in his funding. I mean, we're solid with, we just need to know
You
where
could, you
Terry.
could ask for up to 250, then we have to match that 250. And this list could grow or it could shrink. It just depends on what we can ask for. We're just trying to add anything we can up there through this grant. It's kind of, basically, this will be phase 4 of the renovations up there, so.
So we wouldn't be obligated if we ran out of money and we built 3/4 of the stuff on this list, we'd be good?
No, we have to, when we submit when we do the final submission, it'll have everything that we're gonna put on there, and we'll have to do all of that, yep. This is just to apply for the grant.
Yeah, we're just applying for the grant, and then we'll go from there once we see what we can do.
Is there any further discussion on item 7? Hearing none, all those in favor of forwarding item 7 to the full council with a recommendation of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Item 7 is forwarded. Item 8 is a line item transfer in accordance with ordinance 1783. This is,
You go to the next, you go into the next page, you follow over, and that's the next
Okay,
page. You've got
sorry.
there was an overtime overage due that we had a air race that came through, and the airport went over their overtime, and so we're just doing a line item adjustment for MAD fuel. There's no more money being appropriated from the budget, it's just a line item adjustment.
so it's moving $682 from line item 1.113.127 to line item number 1.113.5121 to cover that overtime. Moving forward, item 8 to the full council with a recommendation of approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion on item 8? Hearing none, all those in favor of forwarding item 8 to the full council with a recommendation of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Item 8 is forwarded. Items 9 and 9A. Item 9 is consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor and the city clerk treasurer to enter into a contract for a feasibility study between the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and Tanco Street Lighting Incorporated to evaluate the cost, benefit, and long-term impacts of 4 potential options for the city's streetlight systems: maintaining the current system, converting to LED fixtures, or converting to LED fixtures with energy owners, converting to LED fixtures with energy ownership, and converting to LED fixtures with the city ownership, or just transitioning to a solar-powered streetlight system. 9A is appropriation of $12,500 from the Economic Development Capital Fund number 27 for that feasibility study. And I move we forward items 9 and 9A to the full council with a recommendation of approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion on items 9 and 9A?
That's a lot of money for a feasibility study.
When you start talking about looking at every light in the city of Russellville, you're talking about every road. You're going to have to isolate every light that you have. You're going to have to, there's a lot going there.
My
Ms.
question is,
Shondell, will you come? I'm
are
sorry,
the
go ahead.
level of savings,
That's what this is going to tell us.
I know,
Yeah, so.
but if it's not more than $12,000, if we don't believe that it's more than
We
12,000,
believe that
Yeah.
the savings is more than $12,000. That's why we're investigating this. And that's why we're looking at the 4 different options.
Yeah.
If we don't do anything, they're going to be able to show us what they think and anticipate our costs will continue to be. Then we're looking at LED ownership under Entergy. Even there, we believe that it is significantly more savings than $12,500 to do that. And then if we transfer to city ownership and still LED, then I asked them to also evaluate the solar option, because solar option would be removing an Entergy bill, but there's still a lot of costs to do
Right.
that. And so we really wanted to look at all of our options before making a decision, but we've already looked at what the rates are with Entergy and believe there's a significant savings, but we didn't want to just move forward with a project and then realize that wasn't the savings that we were anticipating.
yeah, and we definitely spend a lot of money in wherever we can save it in our monthly.
Our utility bills
Yeah,
keep going
yeah,
up,
yeah.
unfortunately, and that's with everything. And so we're trying to just be as wise as we possibly
Yeah.
can, and before making a decision on which way to go, we wanted to make sure that
Cool.
we were making the right decision.
Yeah, cool, thanks.
I think it sounds pretty reasonable, given the scope of what you're looking at, because the city doesn't, I mean, we probably do maybe have people on staff that do that, but it would take an inordinate amount of time for them to do that, you know, along with their other jobs. So I would rather have an expert come in who does this every day, that can help us identify our needs.
Agreed, thank you.
Is there any further discussion on items 9 and 9A? Hearing none, all those in favor of forwarding items 9 and 9A to the full council with a recommendation of approval, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Items 9 and 9A are forwarded. Item 10 is consideration of an ordinance approving the private club permit for Backwoods Sports Bar and Grill and allowing for the application of the required permits to the Arkansas Alcoholic Beverage Control Division. Moving forward item 10 to the full council with the recommendation of approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion on item 10?
What's the address on this? Or-
This is the old Ruby Tuesdays.
Okay,
This is the old Ruby
Awesome.
Tuesday. So this is Chris Miranda. He can speak. He's the owner, proprietor, if you'd like to ask him any questions. Chris, if you would state your name to those at
Yep, my
home.
name is Chris Miranda. Thank you for your consideration. The reason I wanted to speak today is, and I don't know if it's possible, but I understand that you have to have 3 readings before you can be issued your ordinance. Our projected opening date is going to be October 30th. With 3 readings, that still puts me within that projection, but it only gives me about 7 or 8 business days before we open. I don't know if I need to ask for it now or at the next hearing, but if there's any way I could have a consideration to have it done in 2, just to give me enough time so that if something happens with ABC, I can still hit that projected opening date of October 30th.
You have to have 3 readings, then 30 days after that 3 readings.
Okay, that's what I meant.
So
Sorry,
yeah, you're
sorry.
going to have
Yes.
3, it's 3 readings
3
plus 30
readings,
days.
yeah,
If you had 2 readings, then you might could get that 90 days, but yeah, like I
Gotcha.
say, that would be, yeah, but I just want to
Okay.
make sure you knew there were 3 readings and a 90-day wait period if that's.
Correct, sorry, yep.
but we can do 2 readings.
We've done
Yeah,
it.
we
Yeah,
have
it's
that.
Yeah.
traditional, like, I think we've kind of adopted the practice,
Yeah.
even back on the previous council, where for these, since it's just basically just helping paperwork go through, we've only done 2 unless there's been someone to come in and speak against it.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, sir, sorry, I misspoke. That's what
no,
I meant. It
yeah.
Yeah,
gets
no
me
worries.
there without having to do a reading, then wait the 30, and then, yeah, sorry.
Quickly, can you tell us a little something about your business?
Yeah, so it's something that I've been thinking about for 3.5 years. I'm originally from this area. I was born in Russellville. I graduated from Hector. Moved to Fort Smith 5 years ago to pursue something else. My wife said it was time to come back, so we came back. And what better time to try this than now? It's always something that I wished was here, so who better to open it than me? It is going to be a sports bar, an actual sports bar. It'll be a 21 and older establishment. It won't be a restaurant, so that's what I want people to be real clear about. It's not somewhere where you take your kids. It's not to say it's going to be rowdy. It's not going to be the 40, don't worry. But it's for the adults. It's somewhere where I can go watch the Razorbacks. I don't think I've ever watched a Razorback game where I've never been upset, and I can voice that at an establishment. It will be...
You picked a good year to open, because we'll probably be upset
Yeah,
all
so
year,
if you've ever, just the quickness of it, you've probably been in Ruby Tuesdays before. That's where it's going to be located. You walk in, it's going to be essentially the bar. You have the foyer area. We have the bar that we're going to remodel, make larger. And then the partition that used to separate those, we're going to open that up so that it gives it a more free space. And then the whole front room area, that old center partition that used to go there to separate the small booths, that will all be opened up. All that's going away. Everything will be brand new, flooring, walls, kitchen equipment. We will build a stage in there, tons of TVs.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah,
Thank-
yeah.
thank
It'll look
you.
nice. It'll look
That's
nice.
exciting.
Like I said, I wanted to do it for like 4 years, and everything just worked out to where it's now. So,
Good deal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Is there any further discussion on item 10? Hearing none, all those in favor of forwarding item 10 to the full council with the recommendation of approval, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Item 10 is forwarded. And the last item on our list is item 11, which is consideration of reimbursement request for Main Street, Russellville for the second quarter of 2026 in the amount of $15,000. I move we forward item 11 to the full council with the recommendation of approval. Is there any discussion on item 11? Hearing none, all those in favor of forwarding item 11 to the full council with the recommendation of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Item 11 is forwarded. Mayor, I yield the chair, yield the floor back to you.
You guys feel like we can roll straight on into this? Oh, she's got to go. Okay, all right. So we're gonna have 3-minute break, guys. We will adjourn. We'll meet right back in 3 minutes for full council agenda prep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us tonight. Going to be coming back for the City Council Agenda Prep meeting here on August 11th, Tuesday. Paul's just knocking things down, so, okay. All right, so we're going to have a lot going on, so let's just try to get into this. Kenneth, I know you're going to be talking, and we're also going to have Jason Funkhauser, representative for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, that's going to give us an update on the project. Kenneth, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna report on one project, the trail on Muskogee and 12th Street. The sidewalk's done on Muskogee. There was one panel that was left open, but I think it possibly got poured today. So what they're working on now is the drainage on 12th Street, so.
Okay,
It's
all right.
moving really fast, so.
Thank you. Mr. Funkhauser, when you come to the
Wait, wait,
podium,
wait.
oh, wait, go ahead.
Where are we at on B Street?
Where we at on what?
On B Street.
September 17th is the start date.
Yes.
So
We're talking about downtown, September
figured out-
17th.
we've figured all
We
of
had
that
to
out.
get- We had to get back on the schedule with Mr. Bowden, so.
Sweet.
so
Okay, cool.
It's coming.
Should take
Well, I knew there
approximately
was
7
some
days
up-
with good weather.
I knew there was some up in the air from the, I just wanted to,
Yeah.
because people ask me questions, so I want to be able to answer. Yeah.
If you would just state your name, Mr. Funkhauser, and for the people at home.
Jason Funkhauser, Little Rock District Corps of Engineer. I'm the project manager for the Prairie Creek project that's ongoing. I do have a presentation if you guys could. Excellent, thank you. I know school's starting next week. I've been asked to come give an update on the project status as well as the upcoming timeline, so that's what I'm going to do in the next few slides. Give a brief update where we're at. So the Prairie Creek straightening and widening, and then talk specifically about the Parkway Bridge and Commerce Bridge, just briefly, and then give you an updated timeline. The last time I was here and spoke to you guys, we had just signed the contract, awarded the contract, in May of 25. We hadn't done any construction, so now for almost the past year, there's been a lot of construction going on, so I've updated that timeline since then. So we had groundbreaking on the bottom left picture there in June of 25. The mayor was there. Other dignitaries from the city were there. The Corps of Engineers had quite a few staff there as well. We started the actual construction in August, September. So it took a few months for us to go through the contract phase with the federal government. It just takes time. And the contract was for 820 days, and it started in May of 25. That's when the clock started ticking. So they had up to almost 3 years to complete this project, which they're well ahead of schedule on that. So currently, they've widened and straightened all the way up and finished the stream bank up to El Paso, from ATU all the way up to El Paso. And then above El Paso, it's widened and straightened, but they don't have the stream bank done yet, the stabilization, the rock work, and then there's other erosion control measures, grass and things like that. City Mall electrical work, we were going to do quite a bit of revamping of the electrical work there. We just worked with Energy over the past couple of months and got them to basically approve of what's there is going to stay there. So it saved the project a lot of money and some time as well. And then we've worked with RDOT to get approval to tie into Highway 7 or Arkansas Avenue, if you will, how the creek meets the actual bridge on the downstream and upstream side. So a few slides just to show, I know you guys, you probably see this almost every day, but the demo of Parkway Bridge began on May 27th, so they closed the roads just a couple of days before then, so it's been closed now for just a little over 2 months. Then you can just progress along in these next couple of slides and see the construction work that's ongoing. Aaron Trimble with the city on, I think, GIS. I don't know if he works for Glenn or for Public Works, but he's provided these snapshots to us, and it's good record keeping. We appreciate that. So July 7th, the culverts were delivered right around the 1st of July. So July 7th is when they started putting them in, and they had finished putting them in by just a few days later on Parkway. So you move forward a couple weeks, towards the end of July, they were backfilling, and then just last week, the backfilling for the most part is complete. I was just out there today. They've got most of the ready rock walls done, putting in some of the final drainage, and then plans to start the actual barrier walls, that's the guardrails, if you will, next week on Parkway. So Commerce started demo the same day on the 27th of May. Again, these are just a few pictures show you the progression. July 1st. Then they worked on installing the culverts on Parkway first and then moved over to Commerce. So it's a couple weeks behind where Parkway is. And then as of last week, they had all the culverts laid down for Commerce. So projected timeline, this is my last slide. So we started the construction late last summer, early fall, with the beginning of the straightening and widening. When the contractor submitted the bids in their bid schedule, they were going to actually work on the bridges towards the beginning of the project. We've been working with them to rearrange it. I know Glenn's been involved too, to kind of rearrange their schedule to try to minimize impact to traffic, particularly try to work on Parkway during the summer so that the school traffic is not impacted as much as it would be if it was ongoing in the winter. So that's been the process so far. So they started the bridge work in May. They plan to finish Parkway Bridge in September, mid to late September for Parkway, and then several weeks later in October for Commerce. And I understand that school starts next week. It's going to be inconvenient. We've relayed to the contractor to try to expedite any way possible. There were some delays with some of the delivery of the culverts and some other schedule challenges, but they are ahead of schedule. Their bid schedule originally showed that they were going to have the bridge closed, Parkway Bridge, for 4.5 to 5 months, so they've been able to nearly half that. There's been some issues, but that's just construction. The weather's been pretty good. Past couple of weeks, they've had 1.5 inches of rain last Friday and then the Friday before, and that's kind of slowed things down a little bit. But I was just out there today. They provided an updated schedule that we're reviewing, and it looks like the middle to latter part of September before Parkway is open. And that's all I have. I don't know if there's any questions or
I really appreciate you guys being able to work with our staff to push through the summer for the bridges. You know, my wife is a teacher, my kids are in school. A lot of us have family members and people that work for the school system or that have kids or grandkids in school, and so it's really important to us. And like I said, I appreciate you being willing to work with our teams to kind of work around that. So thank you very much.
Look, appreciate that. We've had a lot of help from Glenn, and the mayor actually have been pushing really hard to minimize the impacts of traffic as best we can. So
Yeah, I wish we were making the back-to-school deadline, but, man, the work that's done, it all looks so good. I mean, it's going to be such a good project when it's done. It just looks fantastic.
appreciate that. We think so too. Like I said, the barrier walls are planned to get installed next week. Then soon after that will be the sidewalks, curb and gutter, and then the asphalt. And so they've got schedules laid out for all of that, weather permitting, and then supplies permitting. That's the plan.
My mic's off. Thank you so much for coming down. I appreciate it. Tell your team thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Okay, so moving on to unfinished old business. We're going to have a consideration of an ordinance rezoning Certainty Realty in the city of Russellville. This is going to be the piece of property on East Main there, right before the overpass. This will be the third of three readings. Item 2 is a consideration.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I would like to move that we not, wait a minute, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
Okay, never
Yes,
mind.
sir.
I'll do
That'll
that
be a
in
new
minute.
business, I think, so, yeah.
I'll do that the next.
Yeah, I think
Item
it's new
2.
business, yeah. Yeah. It's consideration ordinance approving the private club permit for Morello's Mexican Grill Club Incorporated. This is a state private club permit application for the Arkansas Alcoholic Beverage Commission. This is second of 3 readings also.
Is it not second of 2?
It shows second of 3. Yeah. So, I mean, you can change that when you suspend the rules in the actual
Did
minutes.
they ask for 2?
I don't know that they asked for 2, not that I know of. And then item 3 is going to be consideration of ordinance approving the private club permit for Heartland Pizza, also known as Pizza Hut, on North Arkansas. That'll be the second of 3 readings. We need them to bring the Pizza Hut buffet back, so, but, yeah, we can do that. And then item 4 is a consideration of amending the current Russellville Historic District Code for the city of Russellville, Arkansas, adopted by ordinance number 2460. This is just doing some fee scheduling and where that we can do all of the mail outs and different things for historic district notification. So this will be the second of 3 readings on that. And then moving over to first of 2 pages on new business. Item 1 is a consideration of a resolution for the mayor and city clerk treasurer to execute a license agreement with DNR and for all other purposes submitted by Public Works. Glenn, or do you or Mr. Duval want to talk about that a little bit?
So, in 2025, we had an agreement with DNR Railroad to install trail from 4th Street to 16th Street. At the time, we discussed extending from 16th to 19th and also adding the crossing at Bernice Avenue. We thought that was included, but it wasn't. So, we're just wanting to amend this to include 16th Street through 19th Street and also add Bernice Avenue to have a crossing.
Anybody got any questions about that? So that's what we'll have.
Is that like, what's a trail crossing gonna look like across the railroad? Is it just how's that work?
It's going
Well, this
to
is
go
going alongside the railroad.
Just
This
right
is
on the
going
side, not just
alongside.
across.
just right
Okay.
alongside.
Yeah, this
yes.
is going alongside.
Yeah,
It'll
yes.
be on the east side, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
Yes.
I
of
thought we had
DNR.
cut some of that, but I'm glad we haven't. That's good.
Yeah.
It's good
Yeah,
news.
so we'll get these included and have a little more.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Duval. Mr. Gray, you have anything? that you wanna say?
Well, I realize that items 2 through 8 have to be on the agenda to meet our legal requirements, but since the Planning Commission didn't have a quorum and couldn't meet last week, I'm going to move that we not discuss these items tonight. So I'll make that motion. If anybody wants to discuss it, we can.
I think I just wanted to put them on there in case you guys had questions.
Okay, well, we got an email though that said it was going to be a long meeting. We're going to have to discuss all
Well,
these.
no,
so
I just,
we
well,
ain't
I'm just
gonna-
letting you know that planning was going to be here
Yeah.
to talk about these if you wanted. I was just,
Well, I just think we'd be putting our thumb on the scale if we're discussing something before their meeting, so let's let them do their work, and then we may have some extra reading to do by next Thursday night, So whatever we have to do to not hear items 2 through 8,
have a motion and a second,
Yeah.
correct? Any, Mr. George, am I correct, Mr. George, that you were the second? Any discussion on that?
But we would still be able to hear all these on Thursday.
yeah, they're going to meet,
Yeah.
so.
You
can
can, I
watch
mean,
it, or-
you can even hear them at their meeting.
Yeah.
I agree with Mr. Gray. I prefer that we do not inadvertently give weight of the scale for their decisions.
And one thing, since I watch all the Planning Commission meetings, Mr. Keller, can you please ask people to use their microphones? It is really hard to watch a Planning Commission meeting because maybe 2 people have them on, so.
Okay, so you have a motion and a second not to read, are you not to discuss or not to read? Not to hear.
Not to, I don't want any discussion because we could get into territory which then may
All right.
bias them or have them rethink how they were thinking about something. That's their job as the Planning Commission to do this work, and then we take their work and go from there.
All right, so we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed. Okay, all right. So we'll move on to item number 9. Okay, discussion. We got some discussion items here. Moving on through here. Mr. Gray, item 9 is discussion of a possible resolution regarding the installation of flashing lights around our existing 25-mile-an-hour zone in front of the Forest Service building. You want to discuss that?
Yes, we have spent, was it 20? How many million we've spent downtown? We've got, and I have gotten, I don't know about you guys, I'm sure you have too, I've gotten lots of compliments on how downtown looks and the work that's done, and it's fantastic, and it's going to serve the city well for 50 years, especially all the utility work we did. But we also are odd to be a city of this size and have a major federal highway running right through the middle of it. You think of Conway and other cities that are a little larger by Arkansas standards. You have a town square. You don't have a highway running down through it with trucks and everything else. We've had people killed downtown in the last 20, 25 years, and now that we've got this great downtown, I need this. I would like to see us slow down from the Forest Service to the bridge. It's 25 miles an hour. When you get to 40 miles an hour, you can ask our planning folks and other folks that study traffic speeds. That's when your fatalities start. Is at 40 miles an hour is where they really skyrocket up. So I'm looking for ways. I've spoken to the chief of police. I have spoken with Mr. Duval, our public works, about ways to do this. I don't want to start writing tickets. What I would like to do is educate the public that in that zone, it's 25. It's not 35, it's not 40. We're going to get people hurt down there because we have a downtown that is growing, it's vibrant, and the last thing I want is to spend all this money downtown and then we get people hurt because people are screaming down through there. So I've asked Mr. Duval to do a traffic study. I'm asking him to do that. It's at no cost, as I understand it. It'll give us traffic speeds, car counts. We can use other technologies we have down there. We can know how many pedestrians, how many bikes we have. And Chief of Police asked for that, to give him some data to work with first. And Chief, would you mind coming up and don't give me that
I think
look.
one of the big things is going to. I think one of the big things is going to be getting permission from RDOT. Doing that
Yeah,
this
well,
same
the
road.
flashing light thing, RDOT told Mr. Duval today that there's no one that's got it. Well, I want to be first. If there's no one in Arkansas that's got one, then we're going to be first. I think I can make a case for it. I'm going to think about it and I'm going to look into it, but I doubt there's any cities in Arkansas with 30,000 people plus with the traffic counts we have on that highway that go through the downtown. I'm thinking of most places, there's just very few major highways that go through the core of their downtown. So if it takes, I know Dardanelle's got it on Front Street. They got little lights around their 20-mile-an-hour sign. Just reminds you, oh, we need to slow down. So I spoke with the chief, and what I'd like you to talk about is the kind of data you can pull from traffic studies and how that might help you as you start to think about not enforcement yet, but educating people the steps of, I don't want to be writing tickets. I want everybody to get used to, hey, this is a slow down zone. Let's be safe here. Let's watch out for our pedestrians, especially when we have events and all that kind of stuff. So can you talk about some of the things that traffic studies can do and how you might use this to educate the public?
Well, when Mr. Gray come talk to me about this, I was like, I did request a traffic study for the main reason of just having that data, because if you're looking at the visibility education campaign, you want to know what your peak hours are, what your true speeds are, which the traffic study will provide, and just kind of in what days of the week are the heaviest. So it just helps us plan to have that kind of campaign where we can be visible, not the enforcement that you're looking for, and that's later down the road, but just to get that information out, get people trained in the speed limit. But that data helps us plan to use our resources in a better fashion.
Thank you. Any questions from the council or any input?
What's the current speed limit through there?
25.
25, I believe.
It's 25, but it's not, if you spend any time downtown, there's not a lot of 25 going on.
Yeah.
It goes to 35 at the Forest Service as you're going west, and it goes to 40 around Newton Farm, just past Newton Pharmacy. Goes to, or right up to Newton Pharmacy, it goes to 40. So there's a 10-mile-an-hour buffer there that's pretty short. You go from 40 to 25 pretty quickly, which is, I think, part of the problem. Coming off the bridge is a little bit different, but if you hit the light right, coming off the bridge, people are screaming around the courthouse there pretty well too. And I just don't want to have accidents that we could prevent by just thinking about, let's slow down a little bit.
What
Mr.
about,
Mr. I'm sorry. Just really quick, I'm direction challenged. You say the north side of the road with respect to the courthouse. Are we talking?
The north side that's the far side there. We don't have any signage. There's no 25-mile-an-hour sign on this side. That's something we got to fix. When you're coming off the overpass, there's no. Where's the sign? Is it on the bridge? Okay, so we've got one. We might need another one as we get on to West Main, as we go from East Main to West Main.
what is the cost of doing the radar sign where it says, that shows that you're going over the speed, starts flashing and shows that you're going
Chief
over
or
the speed?
Public Works can talk about that because now you're talking, because it's RDOT.
That's
That's
also
one of our other
getting
issues.
permission from RDOT.
RDOT
It's
will work
RDOT
with
already.
us. We just have to ask and have a plan, and then it's got to,
I just
tell
think,
them what you said about, it may have to go to Little Rock, so.
Yeah, so we'll do our study as you're requesting, but RDOT would have to do their own traffic study as well, and then it would go to Little Rock, and then they decide yes or no. And if they say no, I suspect they'll give us some more options. But on the radar signs you're talking about, I haven't bought any of those in a while, and I didn't look that up, so I don't know what one costs right now. But I will get it to you. I will email it to you.
Well,
I don't
and
want to guess, so I don't know.
do we still have the police department has some of those, right? That we use for educational purposes. They wouldn't be for permanent.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
Okay.
that's another issue.
That's where you're
Yeah,
going to have
yeah.
issue.
I think Mr. Pearson had a question. Did you?
no, I was just going to say, I know that those get people's attention.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, wait a minute, is this manned? Am I being targeted now? Am I,
Yes.
I think those get people to slow down. So
They do. They slow me down.
I will research it in the morning, and I'll send everybody in the council. I'll email it to you what the costs of them are.
Okay.
I know that in the past, every time we try to talk, I mean, even the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit was, like twisting someone's arm. What can we do without asking permission? You know what I'm saying? Like, it is our street from here to here.
Except it's not.
Except it's not.
It's
I
not our-
understand.
it's not our
I
street.
understand.
Nothing without
I
their
understand. But other cities, like Paul was saying, don't have their main pedestrian
Yeah.
attraction right through the, major highway. So,
Well, I will say this, we have a very good relationship with RDOT, so.
Yeah, I think we
just-
can demonstrate some,
just see
for
what
our
happens.
planning
I'm not
folks,
speaking
some
for them.
special circumstances. We might be able to create, have some special circumstances.
yeah, there are
in Little Rock, yeah.
variances. We provide variances to our citizens. Surely we can receive something similar from them.
Yeah, thank you.
You just have to ask. You have to ask for permission. It's their road, so.
All right, we'll commence with the traffic study, and then I would like this on next month's agenda. So when will we have data? Is this usually a 2-week study or what?
Do a 7-day study, but
Okay.
we can do a 2-week study if you want.
No, that's whatever standard.
A 7-day study, around the clock, 24 hours.
Gotcha, okay.
So you want that on September agenda prep?
Yes.
Okay, all right, just clarifying, okay. All right, discussion items at the end here. We have discussion a quarterly update from Friends of Lattimore Tourist Home, Phase 3A of the project. Miss Bessie, are you going to be the one speaking? Yes.
Betsy, do you have anything to add to that whole
yes, I do.
conversation?
As a former downtown girl, kudos to you, Mr. Gray, for bringing that up. That has been a discussion that has been ongoing for as long as I've been associated with downtown, and to see it continue is warms my heart. The other thing I want to mention is 2 highways running through your downtown is a positive, not a negative. Think of those downtowns that have had overpasses that have totally bypassed their downtown and what those downtowns have struggled with. So finding positive ways to deal with that, my hat's off to you. Thank you. My name is Betsy McGuire. I'm the Vice President of Friends of the Lattimore Tourist Home. Greetings from our Board President, Randy Hendricks, and Mary Cahoon is here as well. A picture's worth 1,000 words, so I'm going to show you some pictures. And you guys remember this, the Lattimore Tourist Home in better days?
Yeah.
This is what it looked like when the city took possession of it 20-some-odd years later. And the city, this is the city's property. Friends of the Lattimore Tourist Home have a memo of understanding with the city to take on this project. This is what the Lattimore Tourist Home looks like now, except the underpinning has been filled in, and we're about to do the permanent rock work with that underpinning as well. So Phase 3A, we just wrapped that up and included the items you see here: front porch railings, entrance door repairs, remaining window rehabilitation, interior structural systems rework, electrical rough-in, plumbing and HVAC rough-in, new insulation, and a fire suppression system. So the front porch railings, you guys look at the second floor porch. Eventually, this is the detail work, what Bob Hegel has called the jewelry of the porches and the jewelry of the house. You will have that lovely gingerbread work on the ground floor as well, because the house at one time did not have the enclosed screen porch. So we're going to have an unenclosed porch because we see that as part of that future where you can have events, music events, all sorts of events taking place on that ground floor porch. What we have now is the temporary railings that you see here, and when that was installed earlier this year, actually before the first of the year, the contractor that installed that said, you know, I made it where it would look nice because we didn't know how long that temporary porch and railing would be in service. So it's very important because it allows the public to enter and allows the workers to get in and do the work there. Both of the original front entrance doors have been fully restored. You all know Kendall Hearn has been doing a lot of that restoration work on windows and doors. Kendall is doing an amazing job. Earlier this year, he received a preservation award for his outstanding craftsmanship from Preserve Arkansas. And currently, all 12 of the original wood windows in the original 2-story I-house. Remember the 2-story I-house, 2 rooms on the ground floor, 2 rooms above, hallway in the center. All those windows have been restored with the exception of one that you see in that photo right there. And that is the window on the second floor landing. That was originally a long window. It was shortened when other additions were made to the house. And if you see that diagonal dark line below the window, that is the roof line of one of the early additions. So that house has really changed over time. Interior structural systems, all that repair has included removal of all the drywall from the walls and ceilings. We've had selective interior deconstruction. We've had repairs to damaged floors that took place due to water infiltration. We've had repairs to ceiling joists due to the same water infiltration. We've replaced a structural beam in the living room that took a swag out of the second floor bedroom. We have removed an unsupported chimney flue in the kitchen. We found that there had been a fire in the house when we dug deep and took the sheetrock off the walls. We have adjusted thresholds and flooring to accommodate ADA access in the future. And all this time, we're looking at and considering new uses for this old structure and retaining all of the original layout of that house. We've also included rough-ins for electrical, plumbing, HVAC, and it's hard to include great photos about that, but you can see where the new vent is going to be at the bottom of the staircase. Closed cell insulation has been put between all of the 2x4 stud walls, and this has really helped to make the house even more rigid than it was. It will also allow for some future, if they have to go back in and do some electrical work, additional plumbing in the future, which we hope not to do that, but you never know, that will provide for that. And because property preservation and long-term sustainability of this structure is a concern, one of the things that we added late this year was a fire suppression system. And Bob has been working with the local fire marshal. He's been working with state officials to make sure that we get all of that work done properly. So we've got some preliminary rough-in for that, and that work is ongoing. So project funding, we wrapped up Phase 3A, which included all that you see here, and I know I've run through that very quickly. This was $100,000 in grant money, and we matched it with $50,000 in cash. The grants that we get from the Arkansas Historic Preservation Program, they are a 2-to-1 match. We get $2 in grant funds, we match it with $1. So $50,000 was our match on this. I'm going to give you just a little bit of, so to date, the grants that we have received from AHPP have been over $200,000. So we have raised the bulk of that to match that. Currently, we have $460,000 invested in a property that the city actually owns. But wait, there's so much more to this project. I'm showing you guys the physical work that you all would see if you had a chance to walk in. But I don't have pictures for the following. Every year we do a pancake breakfast or a Black History Month in February. This year we started doing the new event in April for Earth Day, where we had people from the neighborhood walk in and tell us stories that we hadn't previously heard about the house. Also during April, you guys have heard me talk about the United States Civil Rights Trail and how we would love for the Lattimore to end up being a location on that trail. But in the process, we would like to see an Arkansas Civil Rights Trail. In April, we had a couple from Washington State, retired from the university there, they had a friend in Russellville, Donna White, from Arkansas Tech. Somehow they reached out to Mayor Teague, as I understand it. Mayor Teague reached out to Sarah. Sarah reached out to Friends of the Lattimore Tourist Home, and we ended up providing a tour at the Lattimore Tourist Home for Paul and Ruth Jeffries. A couple of weeks later, we get a note and a letter and a check from them. They had been taking a 2-week tour, civil rights tour, through southern states. They said that the Lattimore Tourist Home was the highlight of that tour. Wow. I say all that to let you know this Friday at 10 a.m., we are hosting representatives from Senator Bozeman's office and Congressman Westerman's office to talk with them not only about the Lattimore Tourist Home, but to talk about the potential of an Arkansas Civil Rights Trail. You know, Senator Bozeman seems to be the king of implementing trail systems throughout the state. He may have been responsible for the Butterfield Trail. I know he did the True Grit Trail. I don't know if he was there for a previous trail, but anyway, we want this to be on his radar. We're not asking for anything. We want them to know about this project and understand the value. And I have to tell you, I am not a historian, surprise, surprise, but I have learned so much. I'm not a native Arkansan, I'm not a native of Russellville, but I have learned to bloom where you're planted when you live in a community. And what is it that is special about that place that makes you want to live there? And Russellville, like 30 other communities throughout this state, could be listed on an Arkansas Civil Rights Trail that connects to the U.S. Civil Rights Trail that currently only lists locations in Little Rock, and those 3 locations are Central High, the Daisy Bates Home, Mosaic Templar, and the Clinton Library. We need to get them out of Little Rock and into the rest of our state. So there, gentlemen, one final thing. Our next round of HPRG funding, we're going to ask for $250,000, which means we have to raise $125,000. We currently have $51,000 in the bank. We have a commitment for $30,000 from a private donor. And former Mayor Richard Harris called me this morning to see what was going on with the Lattimore Tourist Home. He pledged $1,000.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, so.
He's stone-faced.
Now, hold on. I say all that very tongue-in-cheek. You know I appreciate you, Mayor. $50,000, $30,000 pledge, we still would need to raise $45,000 for our cash match. Bob Hegel, our architect, whom we could not do this project without, has told me there are 4 things that he's going to try to get done before we even apply for more money. That is get permanent power inside the house. Right now we have a temporary power pole, permanent power for all the things, sprinkler system, and so on and so forth. The rock underpinning, we want the rock underpinning like at the original location to come in and fill where we have block underpinning currently. And if you've been by there, the house is sitting really high. We need to bring that groundwork up to the right level. So we'll be spending some of that $50,000, I'm sure, before we get some more grant money. October, the first week of October, October 2nd through the 9th, those are both Fridays, we are going to be having an art, antique, and collectible auction. On Tuesday night, October the 6th, we are going to have a preview party entitled An Evening at the Lattimore from 4 to 8 p.m. And hopefully we are going to be able to sell some of the art and antiques that have been donated for the Lattimore Tourist Home. Those of you that know Joy Leapart, she's widely traveled, a great art collector, and she has donated a lot of art to the Lattimore Tourist Home. And so we hope to raise some of our funds that we need for our cash match at that time. You all need to know this. This project would not happen without you all, without the members of your community that are sitting out here. Sarah, John Dahl, Gavin and Victoria, Kenneth Duval, Brittany, who keeps me out of trouble with finances. Everyone has really helped us. The guys at Public Works that come and take care of the lawn. All of that is making this the type of place that you all are going to be proud of in the future. And I know this is a little bit long, but it seemed like a perfect time to really give you an update of where we're going with this project. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you.
I'm proud of it right now. So,
I am too.
yeah,
Thank you.
I think it's a great thing that we've done.
I will tell you, there's a great quote, Margaret Mead, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Truly, it is the only thing that ever has."
If there's anyone here tonight or watching and you're not familiar with the Lattimore House, just look it up. It's really amazing, the history that occurred here in Russellville, and preserving it is really, really important. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Betsy. All right, Mr. Aaron Johnson has asked us to speak on flock cameras. Mr. James, if you're up there, give us a 3-minute, when he gets up there. If you would, please state your name so that everyone at home will know who you are, Mr. Johnson, even though I said it already. So,
Good evening. My name is Aaron Johnson, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight. I understand why flock cameras are appealing. We all want safer neighborhoods, and no one here is against solving crimes or finding stolen vehicles. But the question before this council isn't whether technology can help law enforcement. The question is whether this technology is worth the cost to the privacy and liberty of every innocent person who drives through our city. Flock cameras don't just collect information on criminals. They collect information on everyone. Every parent taking their children to school, every church member attending worship, every person visiting a doctor, an attorney, or a friend. Their vehicle's location is recorded simply because they happen to drive past a government-owned camera. Supporters often say, if you haven't done anything wrong, you have nothing to worry about. But our constitutional rights were never intended to protect only people suspected of crimes. They exist to protect innocent people from unnecessary government surveillance. And we don't have to imagine what can go wrong. It has already happened. Right here in Arkansas, in Sherwood, an innocent family was stopped at gunpoint after a flock camera reportedly misread a license plate by a single character. Officers believe the vehicle was stolen. A husband and wife were ordered from their SUV while their 6-week-old baby remained in the back seat. They had committed no crime. One error in the system turned an ordinary family into suspects. Unfortunately, that isn't an isolated concern. Across the country, police officers have been arrested or fired for improperly using license plate reader systems to look up people for personal reasons, including romantic partners and acquaintances. Investigators have uncovered repeated cases where surveillance tools intended for public safety were instead used to invade people's privacy. History teaches us that government surveillance almost always expands past its original purpose. What begins as a tool for violent crime investigations often grows into something much broader. That's known as mission creep. The question isn't whether the technology can solve crimes. It certainly can. The question is whether we are comfortable creating a permanent surveillance network that records the movements of thousands of innocent people every day. Once these cameras are installed, they are rarely disappeared. Data sharing expands, more agencies gain access, new uses are added, and they are people being tracked are overwhelmingly ordinary citizens who are not suspected of any crime. I just ask this council to consider what these cameras can do on their best day, but also what happens on their worst day. Ask yourselves, if this system misidentifies an innocent family, if someone's personal movements are searched without justification, or if this technology is used in ways never intended today, will we still believe the trade-off is worth it? Public safety and liberty, personal liberty do not have to be opposing values. We can support law enforcement while also protecting the privacy and constitutional rights of the people we serve. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Mr. Martin, you want to speak? You didn't sign up. I knew you came in late. I just want to give you. Okay. I was just making sure. So, all right. Mr. Newby, you're going to speak on PPP, correct? On parking. Okay, you're going to speak on parking. Okay, because it wasn't down. Okay. Okay. So, next one is a discussion and information on possible 2-hour parking downtown.
This is just an update on, we didn't come back last month because downtown folks were working on their plans. So, Ms. Walker, would you like to come talk about the things you've been working on and the maps and what you've learned from planning and other folks you've been talking with, including the downtown business owners?
Hi, good evening. My name's Nancy Walker, and since May, when this first came in front of the council regarding a parking ordinance downtown, I've had business owners and workers come to visit me at the drugstore with different concerns, different, like, love it as it is, have you thought about this? And so we have amended it in pieces. Gavin and Victoria have been very helpful, and I'm sure they cringe when they see my name on an email. But here's a few things that have come to change. So there are a few street segments in the original ordinance draft that went out that have been changed from 2-hour parking to all day. And per the ordinance, at every intersection included, if there's not a handicap spot, then there's meant to be a 15-minute spot. Some of the 15-minute spots have been taken out. And then also the implementation of a parking voucher or pass there'll be so many allocated to a business that they can pass to a customer or client if their service is going to take longer than 2 hours. Granted, there will be lots of all day, 2 hour and 15 minutes, but I feel like this will help suit several different businesses that we have in our neighborhood. So, and then that'll just be turned back into the business after their service has ended. I'm kind of a visual person, so I took the map that Mayor Teague brought us and just kind of color-coded 2-hour parking and 15-minute and penciled in the handicap spots. And it really helped me kind of see, okay, say this segment between, I don't know, maybe a segment between Commerce and Main and B Street on Commerce. Those number of parking spots are really maybe a larger number than if I look at Denver or if I look at across from Pasta Grill on between Main and 2nd Street. you're looking at 2 parking spots. So an impactful 2-hour parking can be really important for those businesses around there. So we're still slowly changing the needs, again, not to suit the businesses that are currently there, but to support growth for downtown and who could be there in 6 months and whatever type of business model that business may have. Sorry, that was a little. Any
Do we feel like we
questions?
need to have another public meeting on that with the
I don't
public?
think-
Or
I
do
don't
you
know that we
think,
need
you
a
think you
public
can just bring a
meeting.
proposal to the council?
Well, she's got a new map here, and I would love the members of the press here could see that afterwards. And people, I suggested maybe putting it on the press table over there, where people can look at it after the meeting and ask questions about it, because it's just the next iteration in this. And as I told Yancey, when she started this project, this is long and slow.
Yeah.
This is
You could also
summer
go
and
to the
fall
kitchen.
homework.
You can
that
also go to,
maybe-
there's a dining room table in there if you would like to go to,
Yeah,
kind of, if you
so-
want to, if the press would like to see that. So.
So,
Again, this is not professionally done.
and I will say the ordinance she's talking about, that is a model ordinance, a proposed ordinance. It's not an actual.
Yeah.
Right, that was a draft.
Yeah,
so
it's
that's
still lots of input, and I'm sure Ms. Walker would love to hear from you if you have input as well. I know we have
Hey,
at
Yancy.
least one person wants to speak, but go ahead.
Yancy, did you happen to hear, I haven't found out yet, if we can do any type of parking on the Main Street area? Kenneth, you may know the answer, since it's technically, not a city
No, I
street.
think, was that question gonna go?
That's an
to-
RDOT. Yeah, I don't
So it will
think
have to
we're-
go to RDOT, right? Like, okay,
Yeah.
we were making sure we had to get their approval.
Even if it's just painted on the parking,
Is that,
like on the actual spot, since there's not gonna be signs?
do you know, Kenneth?
Yeah, I think we'd have a little,
Kenneth, do we have to go to RDOT
it's,
for
if
anything that we
you're,
would do on
if
the?
it's on the state road, you're gonna modify
Okay.
what can be done as far as timing. We were able to do short or compact car because, that was not making somebody not be able to park there for a time period. But we like I say, we're gonna be talking to RDOT already on
Same area?
traffic signalization, so we can reiterate that. And sometimes when you go back to them more than once, they do change.
Well,
their
to
mind
be fair,
sometimes.
though, Main Street is not the problem. That's not the parking problem.
No,
The-
yeah, 'cause we have plenty of parking
those
on
are-
Main Street always.
Those are free all the time. So if you want to park all day and all night, and you live downtown, you can park there, and no one ever. You'll have the George Costanza spot where you don't want to move because you got such a great spot. So
Well, but I did have, and again, this isn't designed around current businesses,
Yeah.
but I did have some current businesses talk about if the 2-hour parking was implemented within the streets, then Main Street could become the parking lot, and that could be the problem. So,
I think there's plenty parking out there.
Yeah.
So I think, and that's the goal. I mean, if we can get the parking out there, we'll just have to look at that and see.
okay, well, I have different ways.
We got one more discussion item, and then I think you might want to be. Some people may want to see that.
yeah,
So,
we have somebody who wants to speak on this item.
Yes. Oh yeah, we need to. Mr. Newby, you're going to speak on parking.
Already got it.
Well, this is something we've been working with on the 100 block of Boulder. And I commend Ms. Walker for her ideas and efforts on this. This is an age-old universal problem. What I'm suggesting is a less complicated program in that to consider the downtown as a campus, such as the university campus, such as a medical center campus, and that's simply using a color sticker issued by the city to all employees who are working downtown. We have a finite amount of parking places and a finite amount of employees downtown. When Yancey posted that picture at 7:30 in the morning and it was full, those were employees. So what I'm suggesting is that a yellow sticker, whatever color you want, they are to park outside in an employee zone. Wherever that is, I don't know, but outside away from a retail door. Folks that live downtown, maybe a purple sticker. They too are to park outside the retail zone. Yeah, but then after 5 or after a certain hour, they can come back and park near their door. What I'm seeing with the time-restricted areas, we're putting the onus on the public to park for 15 minutes, for 2 hours, where we'll get a lot of stories. Well, I ran over, sorry about that. The human is the weak link here, as you all very well know. But simply to clear, the city can only do so much. We can't anticipate every parking situation. The city just, I think its only responsibility is to clear as many parking places as possible. This place is growing. It's very exciting. I think when the Prairie Creek project finishes, there's going to be a lot of people down there, and there'll be more charging stations, as I understand. So that's my suggestion, that a color code simply as implemented on a university or a medical or any large campus environment.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item 4 is an update on the council on work and data collection on premium protein products. Paul, do you want to
Yes.
jump in on that?
It's been 2 years since I have started my quest to get premium protein products to be a good neighbor. Lately, it's been absolutely horrific. Every head is nodding. It doesn't matter what time of day. This morning, I was on my bike at 5 a.m. downtown here, and it was rancid, and as I got closer, it got even worse as I was going toward the south. I need help. I need help from this community. I called again today, no response. I've emailed, no response. A year ago, they were shut down because of spills out front. I called them and asked them to address this. I got no response, so I called Representative Duffield, and they were shut down about 6 hours later. And they were shut down for 2 weeks, and they were fined. The problem is Mr. Olson has iterated and reiterated this because he's in that business. He works for Denali. He goes to rendering plants all the time. They're taking substandard product, and they are taking stuff nobody else will take. I don't think the scrubbers are being used properly. They weren't using them last year, which is one of the reasons they got fined so heavily. But I can't, I've got 135, 140 complaints so far this year just on our odor form that people can fill out. I'm all for, I'm a business person, business first. I want this community to do well economically. I want them to do well economically. But they can't have a business model that where they do their business makes everyone else's life miserable. A woman from Houston moved here from Houston to retire, got a house over in the west part of the city. She had smelled the smell. Realtor told her, oh, it doesn't really get over here. It gets over here. And she's very upset about where she bought. And it's not on Inglewood, but it's in that area out west there. Mr. Olson's talked about our soccer tournaments, our fabulous facility out there. We have this amazing soccer tournament. Miss Skelton was texting me from that very tournament. And we've got this great facility, great tournament. People from out of town saying, what an amazing facility, but we'll never be back. Because if you can't do something about this smell, why would we come have our kids running around in an oxygen jet getting to smell this while you're in oxygen jet? So I don't know what to do. I've asked for help from everybody I know to help. I spoke with someone today that I think may be able to get me to some folks who can put pressure on them, but I haven't found the pressure point, folks, and I need your help. We're all affected by this. We're all angry. If somebody would start a social media page, maybe that would, you'd have a lot. If you want a lot of followers, Just throwing it out there. Something's got to be done. We can't continue to live in this amazing community where we have to smell death almost every day. And it's like that until the winter. It's a little better because their operation depends on cool weather. That helps, except when the pond out there turns over. That's always fun. In September and October, that pond will turn over, and then it'll turn over again, just like the lake in April or so. And it's really ugly for a few days when that happens. But I'm looking at science avenues. I talked to a biologist last week. If we, odors, if they have certain chemicals in them, the EPA regulates those. RDOT regulates those. So I'm looking into my oxides and sulfides and my chemistry from high school, trying to find something that we can do. But we've got 3 owners. One of them's an Arkansan, as I understand it. He's moved out of town, and it's great. I'm glad he's making lots of money out there. And we got foreign owners. The last I checked, this was a year ago, was one from Mexico and one from Ukraine. So that's our ownership. It's all out of town. It's owned by, it's an LLC out of Delaware. So it's people that are making a lot of money, living somewhere else. They don't smell it. And I'm hacked off. And I've had it, and I need the community to have had it and help me. And this council, anything you can do, I know Mr. Keller gets the complaints, and Ms. Young gets the complaints. Ms. Young's called them repeatedly with no response. So I don't know what to do, PPP, but this community is really upset with you. You're not a good neighbor. I don't give a darn if the plant opened in 1957 or 59. That's when it did, and we grew around you. That happens. But that doesn't excuse you from being a good neighbor. Just like if my neighborhood changes. My neighborhood's changed a lot since I've been there. But you still got to be a good neighbor. You still got to do what you're supposed to do, and you're not doing it. And I'm tired of it. And now I would like to ask, somebody wants to speak on this, because now we have a new angle that I never thought about. It's affecting someone's life every single day because they work close to the plant. So if you'd like to speak, Ms. Cole.
Jennifer, if you
State
would
your
speak,
name,
yes.
For the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Cole, and like he stated, I work at Fix My Prius, which is at 3110 South Arkansas Avenue, as the crow flies a few blocks from PPP. On the daily, I have alpha-gal and mast cell activation syndrome, so I was bit by a tick. Made me allergic to all mammal products and byproducts. This went even further, and I developed mast cell activation syndrome, which means even the fumes of mammal products or byproducts can make me ill. So daily, when I smell PPP, I'm having to medicate at work and take fast action rescue meds to keep my allergies at bay. Mind you, I'm just now able to work a full-time job. I've been completely disabled until I got this diagnosis. I was bedridden, passing out several times a day, seizures because I was going into anaphylactic shock and I didn't realize it. I'm now well enough to be able to work. I go to work full-time, I make good money, but I almost need a respirator to be able to work and be safe. That's not okay. Have they made any updates since they opened in 1959? Because there is a facility in Danville that does the same thing, and I never smell it. I live in Havana. I never smell that facility. They make plenty of money. They're making money hand over fist. Why is there not something done about the smell? If they're making so much money, there's something they can do. It's not bad all the time, so what are they doing on the days that it's not bad? Because there are days that it's tolerable, but then there's other days where I have to leave work early. I make odor complaints all the time because I'm at work and I can't stand to be at work because I'm having to take rescue meds all day that aren't intended to be taken all day, every day. But right now my husband just got laid off from his job, so I'm the breadwinner. He's on unemployment making a fraction of what we were making before. So I missed 3 days last week because I was too sick to go to work, and I couldn't risk smelling PPP and making my sickness a hospitalization, because that's what's happened in the past. So I'm like constantly, the only treatment right now, other than this risky acupuncture stuff that makes some people worse, cures some people, is avoidance. I can't avoid my job. So I'm with you. PPP needs to be a good neighbor to everyone around us and do something, because it's making me sick daily, and that's not fair to me or my family.
Hey, I read an article that said that the EPA will step in if it starts to cause health conditions, and this is a health condition, so whatever we need to do.
I just need to know whatever avenue I need to do next. I don't even do public speaking.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Doing great.
I just quit college because I didn't want to do the public speaking class. So I'm like pouring sweat right now.
You're not the only
Girl,
one.
I've heard this for years, though. If it's causing a health concern, it's different than just a smell concern.
It's literally making me
so.
sick. It's literally making me sick. I mean, few
Was it
days
you-
out of the week.
Was it you that told me, because oddly enough, I heard a radio piece on this not long after I talked to you the first time. In Arkansas, isn't it between 20 and 30% have alpha-gal at some level because of tick bites?
It is outrageous, guys. It's outrageous. So 3 out of 4 people in my household have it. I have it, my daughter has it, and my husband has it. So, I mean,
But in the state, I believe it's somewhere close to 30% of people have it. Now, they may not have it at your level, but they've been exposed to it because it's a growing phenomenon around the country, but especially in southern states where we have a lot of
and
ticks.
not everybody develops the mast cell activation syndrome. I think I just was undiagnosed for so long and misdiagnosed that I developed it. And I mean, it's the only thing that does an instant anaphylactic reaction to me is fumes. Like, I can no longer eat at a restaurant. I'm okay with that. But I should be able to go to my job. I should be able to breathe the air outside without saying, oh my gosh, where's my inhaler? Where's my cromolyn sodium? Where's my Allegra? Where's my Benadryl? Because sometimes I have to take all. It's not just one, it's 5 medications I'm having to take. So I need to know, like, do I need to be documenting this better? Like, what do I need to do? Any recommendations y'all have, I'm all ears.
Well, I appreciate you. You've been diligent in doing the odor complaints and calling me and texting with me, and I appreciate that. But yeah, this is making people sick, folks. It's not just, when I heard this, I went, oh my God, it's one thing for it just to smell bad and you want to retch, but it's another to make you physically ill and affect your livelihood. And that's not okay, PPP. It's just not okay.
I just want to tell them, like, kind of what my symptoms are. So eyes burning, nose running, nausea, headache, dizziness. Whenever it's really bad, I get heart palpitations and my blood pressure goes up. So it's not just, oh, my eyes are a little itchy and burny, and it's affecting me, my whole body system.
It's terrible.
So.
Mayor, I've tried calling. The only person I've ever gotten that got us some help was our state representative. If you can call, but I'm sick of this. I can't. I've just fought it and fought it and fought it and hoped, and you know what happens, with, well, I won't go into that, those
Mr.
metaphors
Keller,
and stuff, but
yeah. I mean, do you have something, Mr.
wish
Keller?
in one hand and, so. But anyway, I don't know what to do, except I think if the people if 30,000 of us, plus our neighbors that live outside the city, who earn their living in this city, and come here to be entertained, and come here to go out to eat and do those kinds of things, it's not okay. It's embarrassing. It's just embarrassing to have a community this nice, to look out at what we've done with downtown, and it's a great community, for it to smell like death. Not death warmed over, death, just death.
So, is there an EPA office in Arkansas? Because I tried to look it up, and apparently their office in Little Rock was closed.
So I've been looking.
ADEQ.
ADEQ, yeah, I've worked with them many times.
I've sent emails to the ADEQ also, and I have not got any response. I did.
Yeah,
and I sent an email.
Yeah, I've been down that road too. I did get them here last year, but it was with the help of Representative Duffield I got them here. And I don't know, I mean, I guess that's our next, is maybe we can go, we just go to the state and go, help us. We've done all we can do. And, you know, we've been told we can't sue them because it'll cost money. You know,
you can
I'm
sue
tired
them.
of
You
hearing
just
that.
have to vote to. You just have to do it.
Right. Well,
You
that's where
can.
I need the community support, because we need the community behind us if we're going to take on something like that.
Do we know
But they need to do right. If they just put the right equipment in and used it every day, Chris has told us, Mr. Olds has told us many times, he visits these plants all over the country. And he says when you can smell them across the street, they get in trouble in most cities because they don't smell across the street very often. It's because something's gone wrong. I talked to another guy today who's in the landfill business, and he told me he's been written up for his landfill because people could smell the landfill. So he had to go to remediate that immediately after he got fined, paid his fine. But he had to remediate it immediately. These guys just doing whatever they want. So,
do we know how many people have filled out that form that the city
as
generated?
I said, about 130 to 140 this
130.
year, and that's just the folks who filled it out this year. And for, you know, I don't know what it is, but for everyone that fills it out, there's probably 15 or 20 that aren't filling it out, that are smelling the same thing and going, oh my God.
I think you probably could have gotten 140 a day over the last week.
Oh my God.
If
Well, there's
more people
20
knew to do it.
I'm one of the people, when I drive out to PPP, and I do it almost every day, I roll the windows down. And this week, the last week, there's probably 20 to 25 vehicles out there, trailers, covered trailers. So start taking pictures. Start sending them, send them to me, send them to the council, send them to the mayor. We need data, we need information. I'm working on another project with this that I'm not going to discuss right now, but I sent 145 pages of information I've collected over the last 3 years. And if I can get that help, we'll see. But we've got to rise up, folks. This is not going to change unless we demand it. And I've done all I can do, what I know to do. Mayor Horton did, yes, and our attorney has left. Well, and so yes, we tried. We bought an olfactometer. We tried, you know, a smelling machine thing or a tool, and tried everything. And basically, they, you know, it was as I understood, I wasn't on the council at that time. We're gonna get sued. They got more money than we do. Well, I mean, we can. Mr. Johnson talked about living in fear. Well, we're living in fear right now of PPP, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of them winning because they may have more money in their account than the city does, which I'm sure they do. We, citizens, I would love for you to do petitions or any kind of activism. I'm happy to host a meeting here in this chamber. That's one of my plans for next month is just to host a public meeting and let people like Ms. Cole come talk about it's not just it smells bad. This is affecting her life every single day, her health. And when you're loading up on those kind of meds every single day, that's not good for you in the short term, much less the long term.
Well, it makes them less effective whenever I
It absolutely
actually
does.
need them,
Yeah.
so it really.
And I know people want to go home, but I didn't run for this office to have short meetings. So anybody that, and I don't think any of us did. If we did, you're in the wrong business. But if people want to stay around afterward, I'll be glad to talk to you. But we've got to do something, and I can't do it by myself. And I'm not suggesting I'm doing everything by myself. I just can't. I'm out of ideas. I don't know what to do.
Do we have an amount of money it would cost to do
We've been
something
told
like
that it would be $250,000 if you engage the lawsuit. So
But again, we can be afraid all day long, but it might be the best $250,000 we ever spent.
And all you have to do is vote to do that. So.
I understand that, Mayor.
I believe someone could make the case that making the town not smell like death would be really good for economic development.
Sure would.
Yes.
If $250,000 is all that it is.
Yeah, if that's what it'll cost, we should have done it a long time ago.
I know from a real estate perspective, things are not going over there because of the smell. So if we could get more people to build there, more people develop on that side of town, that may make your money back, is all I'm trying to say.
Well, that whole, as I understand it, because I moved here in 1979 to go to Tech. Yeah, I'm old. The subdivision out toward the river was supposed to be this big grand subdivision because I talked to people who, I had a good friend I taught with who lived out there. If you go out there, you go, there's like a house here and then like 4 open lots and another house over here, and it's really clear what happened. It was like, this was going to be a really upscale, nice neighborhood, and it didn't go anywhere because you get to smell PPP all the time. And that was a long time ago. So I don't know, guys. I obviously I'm frustrated. I'm angry, but that don't get you anything. Being frustrated and angry, it's going to take action. I worked at Russellville High School for 30 years. I smelled it a lot. Got to smell it a lot. And imagine being a football player at this time of year practicing, or the cross country athletes are this time of year and they're running. Whoo! It was nasty. It's nasty.
All right. Anyone else? Anything?
And I'm glad to stay afterward if anybody wants to talk about this.
Oh, Paul, can you give us some numbers real quick?
Yeah, what's our max?
31.
Why is it 31? Because we use
you have
the
to
people.
say, do you want to start taking people off?
Yeah, if you prayed once, then
I thought that's what we should have been doing all
that's
along.
what it should have been. I was like, why is it always 31?
Then
because we got to be getting. We ask people to come pray, not be the official prayer.
We haven't had anybody pray more than once.
What's that?
We haven't had anybody pray more than one time.
Well, that's statistically really not. I'll run the numbers for you. 1 out of 31, and not do.
Okay.
We're doing 3.
All right.
Yeah,
well, starting next
all
next
right.
week.
What's our total? I mean, you got the list.
I think there's actually 32 people on that list. 32 is the number.
All right. I don't.
We will ask Miss Skelton to start taking numbers off.
I would, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how we'll figure
I'll
that
make
out.
sure in January that's in our rules.
Okay.
10.
Okay.
Okay, what else?
9. 9 again, so we're not going to do that one. 23.
I think I've had that one. Roll me another one.
15.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
All right. Motion is second to adjourn. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.